Hey, everybody. Welcome to TGC Radio. I'm your host, Jonathan, and with me today is the man, the myth, the legend, Patrick. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing all right. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Pretty good. So, we've got a lot of interesting stories from last week, some major announcements from Nintendo, some news about NVIDIA's next graphics card, and the new Mortal Kombat trailer, which. Have you seen the trailer?
It's awesome.
Oh my god, dude. It looks so good. We'll get there whenever we get there, but I cannot wait to talk about that
Yeah.
trailer. It looks so fucking good. But anyways, we'll just go ahead and start off with like Nvidia. So Nvidia is coming out with their next graphics card on February 25th. It's called the GeForce RTX 3060, and it's supposed to be, I guess, more budget friendly and starts at like $329.
Yeah,
Do you know anything about graphics cards?
correct. Not a thing.
Okay, me neither. I am not. I mean, I'm a computer science major, but that's way more software based than hardware. You know.
Okay.
Um, so
I
I've.
see. My thing is more just like I understand things will look better on PC, and I accept that. But on a console, everything just works. Whereas on a PC, there's the possibility of like, oh man, this piece is like uses too much power from that piece, and this piece isn't compatible with that other piece. Whereas on console, there's just one button. If something isn't working, you turn it off and you turn it back on.
I completely agree. Like I have a friend, a close friend of mine. He loves playing PC. He recently built his own PC and everything. He's always asked me, he's like,
Mm.
you should just switch to PC. Like so much better than console. I'm like, that. I mean, it is right. Like you have better performance, like you said. You have better
Yeah,
frame rate, better graphics. But the problem is like with the console, everything comes in bundled and packaged for you, and you pretty much have like a guarantee from the manufacturer that everything in here works. You don't have to worry about any of the internal compartments. It's basically a black box for playing games. You don't have to worry about how it works. You
yeah.
just put your game in and you're good. Um,
And the other thing is, I know that like you can hook up a controller to to a PC, but like I do, like it's
mhm.
just so much easier to have it just hooked up to the console because I would not want to play on a mouse.
Yeah, that's the other thing my friend was telling. He's like, you could play, you can still play like games like Dark Souls on PC, and I'm like, yeah, but who wants to play Dark Souls with the keyboard and mouse? And they were like, no, you can just plug up a controller. I was like, you can? They were like, yeah. I was like, oh. So yeah,
I mean, that I knew. It was just like I don't want to take the time or spend the money to build a PC.
hmm it's so much. But the problem is there's so many like PC exclusives out there too, though. That's the thing. you know.
Like I'll live with watching someone else play them.
Yeah. But see, when you're like me and you're like, I want to play Serious Sam 4, well, you're SOL because it's not coming to PlayStation or Xbox until their exclusivity deal with Stadia ends. So
Yeah,
yeah, but for graphics cards, my laptop, I can play some games on it, and it has a very bad graphics card. It's like a family HD graphics card or something. Like it's really simple. Um, so I
I
can
mean,
run.
I would play like a. Oops, sorry.
No, no, no. You're good. Go ahead.
I would play like a Pokemon simulator of like Pokemon Platinum during freshman year during class, but that's pretty much the only game I play on here.
Yeah, I can run older games like Doom. Like if I'm playing it on a source port that uncaps the
Yep.
frame rate, it runs really well. But if I tried to run a game like Skyrim, I'm pretty sure this laptop would just explode.
Oh
Um,
yeah, for sure.
so, but anyways, that's enough about graphics cards. Just remember that if you want to buy this new graphics card, it comes out on the 25th. It'll launch at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you want to get it, you'll probably have to order it as soon as you can because Nvidia graphics cards have been going out of stock immediately. So,
Yeah.
but the next major story, probably the biggest story from last week, honestly, the Nintendo Direct. So,
Yep.
any opening thoughts
Did
on
you
that?
watch the direct?
Um, I did not watch the Direct, but I have read like what they said in it basically.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of glad I didn't watch the Direct because it sounds like they kind of started it off high with announcing the new Smash character, and then everything else from there was just, hey, here's this game that's going to come out in later this year or next year, and hey, here's all these ports or third-party
Yeah.
games we're bringing in.
The only new games they it seems like they really announced were like the Mario Golf game and
Hmm.
like a sequel to Splatoon.
Right. So there's a new Mario sports game coming out. It's a golf game. It's called Mario Golf Super Rush. I think that sounds cool. I mean, I haven't played a Mario Golf game before, but I've played like Mario Strikers, which is that soccer game.
Oh, I remember that game. I
Yeah.
feel like I might have played a Mario Golf game like a long time ago.
Yeah. I don't think I ever have. If I have, it was probably at someone else's house for like 10 minutes. um
Which my other question is,
mhm.
how many times have Mario and Bowser like potentially killed each other?
I mean, I feel like Mario's dropped Bowser into lava quite a few times. Like,
Why do they keep playing golf together? Why do they go karting
oh
or
my
like play
gosh.
board games together?
That's a good question. I don't understand that. I mean, with Mario Party, Bowser is kind of like the bad guy, like he's trying to screw you over. Except I think
Yeah, I
in,
guess.
well, like in the most recent one on Switch, can't you play as Bowser? I
That's
think.
why I said that. I think you can.
Yeah, I think you can. I've played it once at someone's house. I didn't like it as much as other Mario Party games, but yeah, I'm pretty sure you can play
Mario
as
Party
Bowser.
8 is the best.
Which one is that? The one on Wii?
Yeah,
Yes, I love that one. I had that one.
that one is so good.
Oh yeah, it's the last good one because Mario Party 9, where they have everybody on a card together. I was like, what is this, man? Like,
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about.
yeah, and it's always like it's pretty much a straight linear path, like Goomba's
Yep.
Boardwalk from Mario Party 8, but every map is like that. And there's maybe some like left or right branching paths you can pick from, but they all go back to the same place.
Mhm.
So it's like, what's the fun in this? It's just really repetitive. Yeah, sorry, Mario Party 8's just the last great Mario Party. We'll leave
It
it at
was
that.
great. Do you remember the game with the monkeys?
No, wait, which one is it? One of the mini games?
Yeah, it was one of the mini games.
No, go ahead and explain it because I don't remember.
Uh, Basically, your monkey was constantly climbing to the top, and coconuts were falling down from the top of the
Yes,
tree, and you
yes,
had to flick your Wii remote to try to make your monkey dodge it. I
yeah,
just remember the first time I was playing with my cousins at like a family Christmas party. We all thought the goal was to keep your monkey from getting to the top.
dude. There's this one
So we literally spent like an hour playing that game because we didn't know how to
oh
win.
my god, you just kept restarting it.
Yeah.
the
So we didn't care about like playing actual board games, so we would just like go to where you can just play the mini games
oh
all the time. We would just play
right,
that one over and over again.
right, yeah, I got you. The best mini game in Mario Party 8. No one can convince me otherwise. Okay, this I don't think anyone can argue this. It's the game where like you're standing in line and you walk up to these, like you walk onto this platform that will launch you into the air and
Oh,
cause you
you're
to
talking about cut the rope?
yeah, cut the rope. Yep, that one.
Yeah,
That is
yeah, that was a good game.
yeah, that is the best one because like every time you have no idea if someone's gonna get basically screwed over or not, and
Yeah,
the suspense building up to someone cutting the rope and then seeing what happens. I don't. It's so good. It's the best mini game in Mario Party 8, hands down. But yeah, we've got a new Mario Golf game. That's pretty cool. And think we already mentioned Splatoon 3, right?
I said it for like a second.
Yeah, yeah. Splatoon 3. Apparently they announced it at the very end of the direct, and
Yeah,
it was just apparently it was more of a trailer movie. Like, okay, so I guess there wasn't any real gameplay. It was like a teaser to just say, "Hey, Splatoon 3 is coming," which I
yeah. It's
don't.
not gonna be out this year.
Yeah, it's coming out in 2022, and I have no care for Splatoon 3 to be honest,
I
or
mean, I
Splatoon.
don't own a Switch anymore, so I don't care that much about most Nintendo games.
Yeah, I still don't have a Switch. But just Splatoon in general, like I don't. I didn't play. I think Splatoon started on Wii U. Pretty
I want
sure.
to say so.
Yeah, which I had a Wii U back in the day. I mean, I still technically have a Wii U. I
Oh
just.
God.
Oh yeah, no, I was one of those kids who was like, "Yay, new Nintendo console, got it," and then they abandoned it immediately because of how bad the sales were. They just started making 3DS
Yeah.
games only, and I was like, "What's going on? Why has Nintendo just abandoned this console I paid like $300 for?"
Oh God, you paid that much for it?
I don't. Well, actually, to be honest, I don't remember how much it was, and I didn't pay for it because I was like 14. But
Oh,
it was still expensive, I'm sure. The funny thing is like I remember I had a class. It was a media arts class, and it was kind of going into like sort of like media art, like how it's made and produced. Um, and in that class, my professor one day in lecture showed a trailer for the Wii U, and she was like, "Yeah, this is a pretty antique console now." Uh, but this trailer just kind of demonstrates, whatever she was talking about. And I sat up, I was like, "Hold on, I was a kid when this came out, and I had it. It is not an antique. I am not old."
I mean, I think it's an antique if no one uses it anymore.
Oh yeah, no, it absolutely 100% is by
Hey,
that
I have a
definition.
question.
Yes.
Did you get the standard Wii U or the deluxe edition? Because the standard was 300 and the deluxe was 350.
Oh, I'm knowing my parents that I'm not getting a deluxe edition. I'm getting the standard. So yeah, probably
Okay,
just the
so it was
standard.
three. So 300 is what you spent.
Hmm. And then a year
So it
later,
was 300.
yep. And then a year later, Nintendo was like, "Yeet! Sorry to everybody who
Yeah.
bought this console, but we're gone. We're out. We're making 3DS games only now." Which I mean, I can't blame them. That console failed horribly,
Oh yeah.
horribly. Because I remember back in high school, and I guess it would be late middle school as well, like eighth grade. People would, I would tell people I have a Wii U, and they'd be like, "Why would you buy that? It's just the Wii, isn't it?" That, like they thought the gamepad was the only like thing the Wii U was. Like they thought the gamepad was just an accessory for the Wii, and that was what the quote unquote Wii U was. Like people were genuinely confused because of how bad the marketing was for that console.
Was it not?
No, it was actually like its own console.
Oh, I thought it was just like I thought it was just
Yep.
an accessory
Nope.
for the Wii.
Nope. Case in point, Nintendo, you messed up royally. You messed up. Even like 10 years later, or however long it's been, like people are still like, wait, the Wii U? It was an actual console? It's like, yeah, it was. It just was horribly marketed and no one understood what it was. So, yeah. No, it was its own console. That's the crazy part. The gamepad was like the accessory to the console. That was when they first started doing the whole like you can play on your TV or on the gamepad, you know. And then they kind of
I
like
I always
realized,
thought it just hooked up to the Wii somehow.
no, there,
Damn.
yeah, there's actually a Wii U eShop where you can buy Wii games. That's how I played the Metroid Prime series. About
I
the,
don't think I've ever played a Metroid game.
I definitely recommend the 2D Metroids. Those still hold up very well. Metroid 1, maybe not as much, but Super Metroid for sure holds up very well. Um, and the Metroid Prime series is god tier. So, I love that series. That's why I'm waiting so hard for Metroid Prime 4 on Switch, if it ever comes. Who knows at this point? Um, and the last big announcement from the Nintendo Direct was the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword getting an HD port to the Switch, and
Yep.
I call it an HD port because I looked at the trailer for it. It looks exactly the same.
Does it
Um,
really?
oh yeah, no, I noticed like no difference, and it's been a while since I played Skyward Sword to be honest, but I played through it like I think twice. So
Hmm.
it I was pretty disappointed with that. I was kind of like, what's the point of doing an HD quote unquote like remaster or whatever if it's just a port? If someone can just run that in a Wii emulator and someone can probably, I don't know, increase the resolution. I don't know how emulators work. I've never used one, but
Yeah. I have never actually played a or no, that's a lie. I've never beaten a Zelda game. I played Breath of the Wild a little bit and I didn't
Mhm.
like it, and that's the
Okay.
only Zelda game I've played.
So funny story. Skyward Sword is actually the first Zelda game I ever played. Um, so there are a lot of people that don't like Skyward Sword because of the motion controls. I understand that, but I, from a very biased perspective, love that game. So,
Oh
um,
wait, I think I remember. Isn't this the one where like whoever it was when they were at E3 was like trying to shoot like the spiders or whatever, and he kept missing because the motion controls were so bad?
did that happen? That is hilarious. I didn't even know about that.
I think they showed this game at E3, and like the owner of Nintendo, I can't remember his name, was like trying to show people the motion controls, and he kept missing because they were so bad.
So, okay, here's the thing. When I was playing Skyward Sword, the motion controls were really bad for me when I used like a rechargeable battery. Like it was unplayable bad. So I said, screw this. I took out the rechargeable battery, replaced it with like authentic, Duracell AA batteries. Got the
Yeah.
real goods in there. And then it worked completely fine. I had no issues. All I had to do was calibrate it once when I started the game, and that was it. It's completely fine.
Hmm.
So that's why whenever people complain about the motion controls, see the problem is it's unfair for someone to say, "Oh, well, I never had any problem with the motion controls, so therefore there is no problem." No, there's still a problem. It's
Yeah.
just some people their mileage may vary with how bad, the motion controls were for them. Um,
The
and I
problem is that we're playing games with motion controls still.
yes, that's what
Like
I would say.
precise motion controls. Like in Mario Party, if you just want to like flick up the remote, sure, but don't make me aim.
Right. I mean, it's a very novel concept. Like, I like the idea of the Wii Remote being the Master Sword or whatever sword you're using. I think that's an
Yeah.
awesome idea on paper. It just did not translate. Like, you still have that hardware limitation, and that's what happens a lot in game development. Like, you have a really great idea on paper, then when you actually implement it, you run into the hardware problem, right?
Mm.
Um, like Fallout New Vegas. Have you ever played that?
I have not actually. That's a game I want to play someday.
Oh, okay. Well, definitely do it. It's the best Fallout game I've ever played. But if you know
I've
anything
only
about it,
played a little bit of three, and I played most of four.
oh, you're missing out big time. 100%.
Did not play 76.
I've played it for all of 30 minutes. To be honest, I've played it, so that's my big shame. But yeah, with New Vegas, if you play it when you get to New Vegas, the city, it's just the strip. And originally, Obsidian wanted to do like a much bigger portion of like New Vegas to still be intact. They wanted to have way more areas, but the hardware like could not run. I mean, it couldn't render that much at once, and they even had to make it run on the PS3. So there was stuff. There was a version of New Vegas that they had that ran on PC and 360 well, but it didn't run well on PS3 at all. So they had to cut even more stuff before the game came out. So. Um,
Oh,
Right. So I feel like what someone at Nintendo should have realized early in development of Skyward Sword is that, hey, this motion control thing is not going to work. We need to ditch it, as cool as it is, you know?
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, at least this HD port doesn't look as bad as Twilight Princess. Um, oh, because have you seen the HD port for that on like Wii U?
No.
It looks so bad because they increased the resolution on everything and made like they updated the lighting a little bit, I think, but they didn't change the models at all. So like you have so Twilight Princess tries to go for a more gritty, realistic aesthetic than a lot of the other Zelda games. Um,
Yeah.
and so the models are tried at the time they were trying to make them look a little bit more realistic while being a little stylized. But anyways, like they look so bad in the HD port. Because you just see like all these jagged, sharp edges on the models, and it looks so bad.
Yeah, I'm looking at a couple pictures now. I just Google imaged a couple.
Hmm.
Yeah, everything's very sharp.
Yep. And it's like I think it just goes to show that if you're gonna really like, you know, they don't have to remake the game from the ground up, but if they're gonna increase the resolution, you know, some games they're not designed for that. They were designed with like a specific, you know, hardware in mind. So when you just
Yeah.
increase the resolution and throw them onto another system, then it can, you know, create I think stuff like that. So, but I don't think buying this is worth a lot of money if you've already paid, especially if you've already played Skyward Sword. If you've never played Skyward Sword, then sure. At least it doesn't look worse than the original Skyward Sword. So, um, but other than that, there was a couple other minor announcements from the direct. Just a whole list of games that are coming out for the Switch, like Tales from the Borderlands. I thought that was interesting. I've never played that. Have you?
Think I played like the first episode because it was one of those like free games on PlayStation if you paid for online.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, I played like the first episode, I think, but I'd also never played a Borderlands game before that, so I wasn't like all that invested.
Right. Yeah. I've only played about half of Borderlands 2. I'm trying to finish Borderlands 2 and then play Borderlands 3 at some point this year.
I
Um,
played three. I thought it was all right. I didn't beat it though.
I've heard mixed things about 3. Um, some very mixed things. So they had a cool event that I talked about on last week's episode of TGC Radio. Spike Broken Hearts event for Valentine's Day. It was pretty cool. So they seem to be doing post-launch content all right with the free events.
Yeah.
But some of the other games that were announced to be coming to Switch were let's see here, Hades. That's another big one. A lot of people love Hades.
Never actually heard of that.
You haven't heard of Hades?
No.
It was one of the best indie games last year. I haven't played it personally, but a lot of people love Hades. It actually was nominated for best action game, and it won. It beat Doom Eternal.
Oh wow.
Yep. People
Yeah, I
say it's
had
really
not
good.
heard of it.
Yeah, definitely look into it. I have a friend who he played through it. He said it was awesome. He said it had a really good story, really good art style, really good combat.
All right.
Yep. So just put that on your backlog, never-ending
Yeah.
backlog.
Yeah.
Um,
Really.
and
Ninja
then
Gaiden. Those were big games for a while, weren't they?
Ninja Gaiden. I've never played them,
Yeah.
but it's cool that they're doing like a master collection for Switch. I think that's cool.
Mhm. I
Um,
feel like those were really big games in like late 2000s.
yeah, I'm not sure because back then I didn't play games like that, and I have never been a fan of the Ninja Gaiden series. The most I know about Ninja Gaiden is from the Angry Video Game Nerd. Um, you ever seen that episode of the Angry Video Game Nerd?
I have never heard of the Angry Video Game
What? Oh,
Nerd.
okay. Anybody listening to this podcast, if you have never watched the Angry Video Game Nerd, please go do that. Just because that guy is hilarious. But yeah, he has a whole video on Ninja Gaiden where he tries to beat Ninja Gaiden on like NES, Nintendo, the old Nintendo Entertainment System from the 80s, because
Yeah.
that's when the series started. And those games are brutally unforgiving, like sadistically difficult. Like it's ridiculous. So he goes full rage and tries to beat the game, and then a guy in a ninja suit tries to help him beat the game and help him train to beat it. Angry video game nerds, just he,
All
he
right, I'll have to look into that.
yeah, just we're just to stop. We're just gonna stop doing the news. I'm just gonna recommend all these things to you.
Yeah, really.
But yeah, the last thing that's notable is Apex Legends is coming to Switch on March 9th. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if it's going to be cross-platform. I know if you're on PC or console for Xbox and PS4, it's cross-platform right now. I don't know what they're going to do about Switch. So that'll be interesting. And the last game I want to mention is Ghost and Goblins Resurrection. Have you heard of the Ghost and Goblins series?
That sounds so familiar, but I don't remember it.
Have you played Marvel vs. Capcom?
I've watched it be played.
Okay, I was just gonna say the main character from Ghost and Goblins, like the little character you play as, Sir Arthur. He's playable in one of those
Oh, is that
games.
what he's from?
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. That's probably what you've seen him from, if you've
Okay,
heard of him.
like I saw, is I watched a playthrough of like the newest one, like with the Infinity Stones and everything.
Mhm.
And I saw that guy. I had no idea where he was from.
Yeah, like he's like a short knight with a red beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name's Sir Arthur. He's the character you play as in the Ghost and Goblins series.
Okay.
It's a Capcom series. It started as an arcade machine, and then they ported it to Sega Genesis, and then they had another game on the NES called Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah.
I've played them. I love that series to death, but it's been dead for years. Um, but they're making a brand new one. I had no idea, and the art style is just a direct love letter to the old games. And they brought back all the old enemy designs. It looks like a lot of the backgrounds for the levels are the same as like the arcade game and NES game, but they're just obviously they've been given some steroids because it's 2021 now, and
Yeah.
we have amazing graphics. But yeah,
Oh my God, it's 2021.
yeah. Oh my God, it's the current year. Um,
So it just feels so weird. Like, dude, I turned 20 like last week. It feels so weird.
oh really? I see. You're saying I feel weird for turning 20. I'm 22 now. And I remember when I was like last year, I was still 21, and I was talking to somebody who was like, he said he was turning 26. I was like, dang. I was like, I feel so old. He's like, dude, don't feel old. I'm like, I'm turning 26. And I was like, oh Jesus. He was like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Closer to having to be an adult, and I don't want to.
see, right now, I'm just like, I don't think anyone ever becomes an adult. You just keep going until eventually one day you're just like, I think this is what an adult feels like.
I'm not
Um,
gonna consider myself an adult until I pay my own phone bill.
yeah, I agree with you there. Until I pay for my own everything, I'm not going to consider
Yeah.
myself an adult. That's probably a good way to judge it outside of like personal development or emotional development, because I feel like people do that throughout their entire lives. Um, but anyways, we got into philosophy there, but that's okay.
Yeah, we took a weird turn.
But back to the game news. We're gonna do the next story, which is about Google Stadia. Um, so Google announced they're gonna have 9 games coming to their Stadia platform within the next 2 months, and they said that they're gonna have over 100 games that release on Stadia by the end of this year. Um, and apparently they just closed down all their internal development studios. So they're probably just going to start doing exclusivity deals and ports with third-party studios to get more games on Stadia. Um, how do you feel about
Uh,
Stadia?
I mean, I think it'll be interesting, but I think it'll be a while before it comes like a real competitor with like Sony, Microsoft, or Nintendo.
I'm shocked Google has let it last this long. Like, I mean, Google's one of the richest companies in the world. I mean,
Yeah,
they can just throw money away if they really want to. Because even though this console is not, at least I don't think it's selling as well as other consoles, and there's not that many people playing on it. I mean, they can just keep throwing money into it if they want.
yeah. But what's it
um,
called? I'm surprised that they did want to stop making their own games, just because. Like I know, looking at this article,
mhm.
someone who was working at it said like it was a horrible place to make games. But I'm still surprised that Google like isn't still trying to make their own games, though. You know?
I think it's probably because they have to spend a lot of money on exclusivity because they're already doing exclusivity deals, like the one I mentioned earlier, Serious Sam 4, by Crow Team. Um,
Yeah.
they had Crow Team and Google have a exclusivity deal where that game's going to be on Stadia, and it won't come out on Xbox and PS4 for who knows how long. It'll probably end this year, but I mean, I don't know how much money they had to pay them for that. You know.
Mm.
So maybe they just decided that, hey, if we're going to be trying to get all these third-party studios to port their games to Stadia, and we're going to try to sign exclusivity deals, we need to save our money for that. That would be my guess. Um, but I think you're right. Like, it is weird that they're just ending internal development entirely. That seems kind of short-sighted, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, see, the thing with like Sony and Microsoft is that they already own popular IPs, right?
Yeah.
Like Microsoft acquired Bethesda last year. Sony has Naughty Dog. They have God of War. They have all these,
Spider-Man, Horizon, like
right?
basically every game that's coming out next year that I care about is a Sony exclusive. To be honest,
Yeah,
or
and
well, this year actually.
yeah, and I really want to play the Demon Souls remake, but that's a PS5 exclusive, so I'm probably not gonna be able to play that until years from now. But um,
Once I finally get a PS5.
yeah, I have not even. I'm gonna try to get a next gen console maybe before the end of the year, but I have no clue. It really depends on what I'm doing after graduation.
I was trying to get one early in, like around Christmas and stuff. I was trying to get one.
Yeah.
I actually stayed up till I think 5 in the morning one time trying to get one from Target, and I almost got it.
Dang.
But since then, I have given up. I'm hoping that like by summer, things will like have calmed down so I can get one.
Right. No,
Because
absolutely.
I got the Spider-Man Miles Morales for PS5 for Christmas, but I can't play it.
Dang. That
But I
sucks.
have not watched any videos. I don't know anything that happens other than like
Oh, for
he
sure.
gets the shocking power and he can turn invisible.
Yeah, no, I would not watch anything either. That's how I play all my new games and I'm excited for. I will watch one trailer, maybe one gameplay showcase, and that's it. Like for the
Hmm.
Demon Souls remake, I watched the first trailer because I was ecstatic when they announced that because I love Demon Souls. And then I watched the one gameplay showcase they did before the PS5 came out, like back in late October, early November, whatever week it
Yeah.
was. So yeah, that's how
Is
I do
Demon
too.
Souls, is that like another like Dark Souls kind of game?
Yes, so Demon Souls came out on the PS3 and it was a PS3 exclusive, but it
Okay.
was released a couple years before Dark Souls because I believe Dark Souls 1 came out in 2011 and Demon Souls was either 2009 or 2008. I want to say 2008. Um,
Yeah.
but there are a lot of differences between Dark Souls 1 and Demon Souls that, I could do a whole podcast episode on, but yeah, it is a Souls like game. It's what started the Souls genre. It's just not as many people were able to play it and experience it because of the PS3 exclusivity, which is why I'm really upset, to be honest, that they're doing another exclusivity with the PS5, which I understand. You got to make money. You got to, promote your console for your business, right? I understand that. But from a fan perspective, I want as many people as possible to be able to play Demon Souls because I think it's underappreciated, not because people don't like it, but because so many people can't play it. They've never had the opportunity, right? Um,
Yep.
so, I mean, the only way I was able to play it was like a couple years ago. My roommate, he had a PS3, and I just found the game at GameStop, bought it, and played it on that. And not everybody's going to be able to go out of their way to do that. Um, so yeah, but Spider-Man Miles Morales, I haven't seen anything about it either. I think the Spider-Man games look really cool though, from what I've seen. Um,
Yeah. I played. It was awesome.
oh, you cut out there. What did you say?
I played all of the first Spider-Man game, and it was awesome.
Oh, when I was a kid, I had Spider-Man 2 on the PlayStation 2. Um, did you ever play
Was
that?
that on GameCube? I think I might have had it on GameCube.
I think it might have been on GameCube actually. Let me look it up real quick. Um, let's see, Spider-Man 2, the video game. Uh, there was the funny thing is I don't know about the Spider-Man 2 game, but Spider-Man 3, the video game, was made by Treyarch, which is pretty hilarious.
Yeah.
Um, here we go. Good old Wikipedia. Oh, Treyarch developed Spider-Man 2. Good on you, Treyarch. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. Platforms. Yeah, it was on the GameCube. Um, so that's pretty cool.
Yep.
And so yeah, I definitely recommend Spider-Man 2 on GameCube. If you still have a GameCube in the year 2021, for sure pick it up. That it's kind of funny. I like seeing like development studios that make completely different games now than what they used to. Like I was saying, Treyarch, they've made Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3, but now we think of
Yep.
them as the Call of Duty Black Ops developers, right? So, just like Raven Software, they make Call of Duty now, but they used to make like their own FPS action series back in the 90s. So, that's pretty cool. But anyways, we're going to move on
Speaking
now.
of zombies,
Oh yeah, speaking of zombies,
do you want to do the Call of Duty?
oh yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War 2 Season 2. This new zombies mode is insane. Um, have you seen like what all the details are for it?
Yeah, like it's open world.
Yes. So in Black Ops Cold War, have you played the Fire Team multiplayer mode?
I have not played Cold War.
Oh, okay, okay.
I've
So
seen a video of it getting played.
in Cold War, there's a multiplayer mode called Fire Team Dirty Bomb, and it's where you're on like an open world, bigger called. It's not just a 6v6 multiplayer map. It's like an actual, kind of like I guess you'd call it a ground war map in another Call of Duty.
Yeah.
It's a bigger map, and you have these dirty bombs on the map, and then you have like squads of up to 4 people, kind of like Battlefield, all contesting over these bombs. But instead of like two big teams fighting each other, it's just squads of players. So it's a lot more hectic.
Mhm.
Um, I thought when I first, because the details about this Outbreak game mode for zombies were leaked the week before Activision announced it, so 2 weeks ago. And I
Oh,
thought it
really?
was, yeah. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, they're not giving zombies more content, because they would never do that. It's just probably going to be Fire Team, but with zombies on the map as hazards, kind of like with Blackout and Black Ops 4, how they had
Yeah.
zombies in that, as hazards. But no, this is an actual like zombies mode set on a large scale open world map. And they said you're going to have vehicles and there's going to be jump pads to help you get around the map and cross larger distances. Um, and it's going to be 4 players max, just like normal zombies. You're going to have all the perks and everything. It is an actual open world map zombies experience, which is insane.
It is like a little bit insane. I know I said this on the last one too.
Yeah.
I still miss when you would just start with a pistol, and there was also like there's no exfil. Like you just have to stay alive as long as possible.
Right. You can still exfil on this map too. Um, the only reason I like the exfil is because all the times, especially in BO3 and BO4, I'll just get bored after like 30 rounds or 35 rounds, and I'm like, I want to leave now. Like, and I would just end the game. Because I'd been playing for like 2 hours or something. So the reason I like the exfil is that it lets you pretty much do that, but instead of just hitting end game on the menu, you can, yeah, you can just like start it and you have to survive like the exfil because it's not
you
just.
Feel like you won.
You said what?
You can feel like you won pretty much.
Right, you can feel like you won, and it's not just like you don't just exfil and then there's a cutscene that plays. The game is like, okay, you got to get to the helicopter, so you have to run across the map to the helicopter, and then you have to like clear out a whole wave of zombies, and it's really tough. Like it's meant to be way harder, because it spawns in so many at once, and you have to kill them all and then board the helicopter. And if you don't like board the helicopter, you fail. Like there's a cutscene where the helicopter gets shot down and it crashes and you lose the game.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it's like it's not just like it still kind of keeps. I see what you're saying, where it's better if like the map always ends with you dying.
Yeah.
But I also like that there's still that kind of survival element to it, where it's like, okay, you have to get to the helicopter. Now you have to kill all the zombies on the map, to get on the helicopter and leave. It still kind of feels like you just barely got out.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it feels like.
I hope there's still a setting where you can make it go back to like just starting with a pistol.
I would like a classic mode like that, where it like takes out.
I would like something like that.
If they do the classic mode, what they could do is force everyone to start with a pistol, take out like all the skill upgrades and
all like the tier upgrades.
Right, take out all the tier upgrades, take out all the specialist stuff, just start you out with a pistol and make you play like that. I think that would be cool. I think that'd be awesome actually. That'd be a fun little mode other than Outbreak, but yeah, the thing I want to say about Outbreak though is do you know Transit from Black Ops 2?
Yeah, I love that map.
So what Transit was originally supposed to be is a lot like what Outbreak is. It was supposed to be like a huge open world zombies experience, but the problem was this was 10 years. Yeah, like 10 years ago now.
Probably.
And the hardware back then was just not capable of supporting that. Like now we can do it, but back then Treyarch were way too ambitious with that map. That's how
I will say, I don't know if this is true. This is according to like one of my friends. I don't remember who, but they said if you get out of the bus in the middle, like he was playing with his friends, and one of them had to just run out of the bus because it was swarmed.
Right.
There's that map from like I think World at War where it's just like this 2-story building that's falling apart.
Noctur and Toten.
Yeah, you can find that map in the cornfield in Transit.
Yeah, it's there. It's in the cornfield. You have to run through the cornfield maze and get there. There's actually a part for the very bad Wonder Weapon on that map, but there. What happened with that map was like they wanted it to be, like I said, big and open world, but the problem was the frame rate was awful, and the render it was rendering in too much at once. So they had to not only limit the render distance, they had to add in fog to obscure everything so
Yeah,
you
that's
couldn't.
why it's so foggy.
Yeah, that's why it's foggy. Is because the game is literally rendering in parts of the map as you move through it on the bus, and they didn't want people to see that because it kind of breaks the immersion, right?
Yeah.
And it looks bad. So they had to throw the fog in so you didn't see that. And they didn't do this till later in development, and they were so rushed that you got transit. That's what you get. that So that's why I'm like, and it's been rumored for literally years now, ever since the first Zombies Chronicles on Black Ops 3, that there are remakes of Barry, Die Rise, and Transit coming. And I honestly think that because they're already calling Outbreak a mode, right? As far as I can tell, Outbreak isn't the name of the map that's going to be coming this
Yeah.
Thursday. It's the mode itself, the open world mode. So I think if they're already calling it a game mode, then they're going to add more maps in, and I would love to see Transit actually remastered and remade fully in Black Ops Cold War, the way it was meant to be. You know.
You cut out for a lot of that, but did you say you wanted Transit to get remade?
Yes, I want Transit to get remade for Outbreak. I think that would be awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, because like it was the original vision for the map, and I think it's such a great idea, but they just couldn't execute it the way they wanted back in 2012.
Mm.
So I think that's really awesome. And it's not even just the new map that's coming next week. They're actually adding like two more tiers to all the upgradable skills in Cold War, and they're adding in new Ethereum crystals for you to grind for, which I love. I think that's the best part of the mode, giving you a reason to play over and over and over again, giving you a reason to like grind out new abilities and everything. It adds like some very nice roguelike elements to keep you invested. So definitely love what Cold War is doing with season 2. And finally, our last thing is the new trailer for Mortal Kombat. My guy, I
This was awesome.
I can't tell you, yeah, I can't tell you how hyped I am for this movie. It looks so good because one of the things I was talking about with one of my friends last night actually is that the thing with like I feel like personally, like with video game movies of the past, is that they're too afraid to adapt the actual game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like they just want to take elements of it or take the name and just be like, here you go, like Rampage. Like Rampage Total Destruction is a video game series, but it got that movie with
Oh yeah, I
Dwayne.
remember Rampage.
Yeah. And the movie with Dwayne the Rock Johnson, like it's it's about them trying to stop the giant monsters, like it's kind of like I guess
Like
got
like a giant gorilla or whatever.
yeah, giant gorilla, giant wolf, giant lizard. Like that's all from the arcade series. Usually you get stuff like that where it's like a gritty reimagining, They try to do a low fantasy type of deal with it where it's like it takes place in the real world, but
Yeah.
which I mean Mortal Kombat's obviously doing that too, but they have like Raiden, they got Kung Lao, they got Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and they're like actually those characters. Like they look like them, they talk like them. It's so good, dude. Oh
How do
my
you feel
god.
about no Johnny Cage though?
See, that's what I kept looking for throughout the whole trailer because they started showing off like all like Scorpion, Sub Zero, Raiden. I was like, okay. So where's the boy Johnny Cage at? And he never showed up. And I was like, they got Sonya Blade, but they don't have Johnny
I wasn't so
Cage.
much like upset as I was just shocked about that.
I mean, I wouldn't say I was upset either, but like you said, I was shocked. I was like, so they have. It seems like they have everybody but Johnny Cage.
Like they're gonna
Um,
have Jax and Kano, but not Johnny.
yeah, they're even having. Did you watch the Red Band trailer?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, the Red Band trailer showed for a second it showed Melina.
Oh
Um,
wait, yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
yeah, and what's the forearm dude? Goro, that's his name, right?
Goro.
Yeah, they're gonna have all those people, but I will see at the beginning of the movie. They remember how not well at the beginning of the trailer, probably the beginning of the movie too. But that guy, he had the tattoo on his chest, and they were like, "Oh, that means you're going to participate in the tournament or whatever." And he was like, he didn't
Yeah.
know what was going on. I thought that was going to be Johnny. That's how I interpreted it. Um,
Oh yeah, I sort of assumed that was gonna be like Kung Lao or someone.
I have no clue. It is. I think it's still up in the air. But if I had to, I also was like, "Where's Johnny Cage?" I was like that, but I thought about it later, and I was like, maybe he's supposed to be Johnny Cage because if you know anything about, like, I think in the original Mortal Kombat 9, is that when Johnny Cage first appeared, or was
I
he in the
want to say
arcade?
it's like 8 or 9.
Yeah, like he was just a normal guy, and then he gets like superpowers, and then goes fights in the tournament. And then I think
Well, he
after
was like some kind of movie star.
right, yeah, he was either a movie star before that, or he became a movie star after that because he got famous. It
Yeah.
was one of the two. So what I was thinking is like maybe in this movie, Johnny Cage is that normal guy you see at the beginning of the trailer, and
Okay, I
then
could see that.
yeah, that's what I thought. So he's like the newcomer, and everybody else is already like you know ready to fight. But the other thing too is like I'm just glad that they're going full camp. Like they're literally holding nothing back. Like Scorpion says in the trailer, "Get over here." I was like, "Okay, that's
Yeah,
it.
that was
I'm sold."
awesome.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I didn't think they'd do it because the thing with like Hollywood and like TV studios, they're always so afraid to adapt silly stuff like that. They don't think people will like it, you
Yep.
know? And that's, I think that's why I've been saying, like, I'm really glad Detective Pikachu and Sonic were so successful because that shows that the campy, silly stuff still works. People still like it, you know?
Mhm.
Um, and I just really love how all the actors look like the characters because the costume designs they look a lot like the video game costumes, but the problem is a lot of the time like they'll change them to make them look quote unquote more realistic or but it seems like here this time what their approach was like we'll keep it as faithful as we possibly can so that it doesn't look weird
Yeah.
in live action, but we'll change what we need to. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like
Yep. Like I
um
was scared that they were all just gonna be covered in leather.
yeah, or something stupid, but and then when they showed like Kung Lao and he actually had the big hat, I was like, all right, they're actually like adapting these characters the way they should be. Um,
Yep.
and then that one shot with Jax from his back and you see his metal arms, I was like, that's so awesome, you know?
Dude, seeing his arms like break off was like, holy shit.
Yeah, no, like yeah, and I think some of the action scenes they showed, they just look like fatalities are gonna happen in this movie. Like there's gonna be a
Yeah.
scene where someone goes finish him, and then he does some crazy, you know.
I mean, Kano is holding a heart, and he says, "Kano wins."
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They're like not holding back at all. They're actually gonna be doing now. They could. I don't know how because I was actually talking about one of my friends. Like he was saying they can do a lot and keep it rated R, but if they do too much, they can't like do too much because then it'll become like NA. It'll get rated as NA, and then they can't show it. So,
Yep.
but I mean, what they're doing so far looks awesome. And I know we didn't get to see much of Raiden, but just the scene where like Raiden, like I think lightning strikes the ground, and he's there, and he looks up, and his like eyes are glowing white. I was like, I'm in there. I'm in there, because I love Raiden.
Oh yeah, no, Raiden or Sub Zero is usually who I play as.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, who would you think looked the best out of all of the people in the trailer?
I might have to say Sub Zero.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Sub Zero, either Sub Zero or Scorpion. They just look the best.
Hmm.
Um, and Raiden's one of those characters that he looks a lot like Raiden, but they had to change some stuff for the live action, which is completely fine. He still looks badass, and he still looks like Raiden. So
Yep.
I'm okay with that. But I think that was actually all the stories for today.
I believe it was.
Yep. Well, that was it for this week of TGC Radio. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you like this content, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll upload videos weekly, uh, and TGC Radio comes out weekly. So if you like hearing us discuss the news instead of just regurgitate it back to you, this is the show for you. So thanks for watching and take care.
Yeah. Have a good time, guys. Happy National Margarita Day.
Happy National Margarita Day.